everybody. Welcome to the show, Hear Me Out Pitch, where we talk about shows that let us down and then we change it or we come up with our own original ideas. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Willem.
And I'm Tim.
And that was a weird intro. I did not like that.
That's not my intro nor your intro.
I tried to do. How do you normally do it?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hear Me Out Pitch, or welcome back if you're
Okay, yeah. Welcome back if you haven't.
Blah, blah, blah.
I couldn't.
No. It's hi, welcome back to Hear Me Out Pitch, or welcome to Hear Me Out Pitch if this is your first time.
Well, tell damn.
I'm telling you because that's my intro. You just did the intro.
Well, I can't. I'm not.
Anyway.
Well, welcome everybody, and for all the new people, hello. And yeah, it's spring is here.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. We can look outside and still see a little bit of light still.
I know. It's 8 o'clock in the evening, and I can still see blue skies. Feels good.
Seasonal depression's going away, but my body is stupid, and when the seasons change, I don't get to sleep. Insomnia, folks. So,
yeah, I feel that.
Well, today we
I haven't been a drone
because our followers don't love us and don't comment.
Please comment on our video.
We weren't getting ideas, so we had to do something absolutely terrible.
We used AI.
Don't
worry, we used it in a curated fashion that is not giving us actual stories. I asked AI, I gave ChatGPT a little description of our podcast and what we do, who we are, and then I said, what kinds of questions would you ask us? And AI gave me 20 questions, and they're good questions. So,
do you want to do a few of those, and then we maybe try to do a quick little one of the... And I asked it, I probably should say, I asked what kind of one... I gave a synopsis of what we do. I gave it a few examples of one-sentence stories that we have done in the past, and I said, what are some that you come up with? And it delivered and gave us 10 random ones. And
one of them we literally did a while ago.
It was really close too. I was like, wow. And it was funny because many of the stuff that AI was commenting, like you should do this or you should focus on this. We do that on this podcast. So I feel pretty confident about that we're doing an okay job with this podcast. So I'm not disappointed, but this was just a fun experiment, but we would rather hear
from you guys.
Yeah. So I don't know, Tim, hit me with some questions and then maybe we can try a few of the thingies.
I'm gonna curate some of these questions. I'm gonna ignore some of the ones that we've answered in the past. What's your favorite rewrite you've done so far?
I think Coraline.
Coraline.
Oh no, that was a sequel. That was a sequel.
What rewrite?
What rewrite was my favorite? Ooh, do you have one on the top of your head? Right off the bat?
I've got a couple. Not sure I can decide one in particular.
Just one, go.
It's gonna sound dumb because I rewrote them.
Oh gosh.
My Star Wars rewrites I really liked.
I do too. Those are some of my favorite ones we've done.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of which. I think the one that we had most fun with was on. I don't know which one's my favorite. Because to me, they just felt like we talked, we had fun, we switched it. I'm very nostalgic for my Lightyear one.
Yeah, episode 1.
Episode 1 was a fun one. I honestly think the fact that we both did our own take of Love and Thunder just speaks volume to how much we dislike that movie.
Yeah. I will say another one of my favorites that we did was The Creator. It was that one.
Oh yes, that was a good
robot,
one.
The AI girl.
Yeah.
I loved the concept. I thought it was such a good concept.
I like the stuff that we added, and Man, I'm trying to think of one though that like really hits. Like this was one I looked forward to, and we were actually really excited to talk about after we watched it. But I can't think of it at the moment because I'm so. Because I just wanted to say like either your Star Wars one, because we just went so in depth and got so many stories, or my Spider-Man take so far, which is not done, and I'm so excited to keep doing that in the future, which is probably going to be next month, by the way. So expect that. But yeah, what's another question?
Have you ever changed your mind about a movie after discussing it on the podcast?
The Lego Movie 2. I'm a little sold. It's still not my favorite. Watched the first one recently. Far better, but the second one wasn't bad.
No.
Wasn't bad.
I didn't hate it. I don't think I've had any that we came into. Well, no. There were a couple, and I think where is it? I'm looking through right now. There were a couple movies that we did that I had seen before, and I did not like them, and then we watched them again for the podcast, and they weren't bad. Oh, Morbius.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. It just
like it was bad, but it wasn't that bad. Like it wasn't. It was on par with some of the better Marvel movies we've gotten more recently.
I think so too.
Like it's Brave New World. It's about on par with Brave New World in my opinion.
Honestly, okay. I think I changed my mind. I think one of my favorite discussions we did was Kung Fu Panda 4.
Kung Fu Panda 4 was a good one.
Oh gosh, no! I changed my mind. My favorite discussion we've done. I had to look through real quick. My favorite discussion we've done was Ant-Man. Because what we came up with, like Thor, we kind of, because for Thor, we kind of were on the same boat with the story. We just changed a few things and tried to set the tone. But for Ant-Man, we changed the movie entirely. Like we even made it that we would see the old Ant-Man and the Wasp fight the current Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we would have and I think we scrap MODOK completely, and we made Kang. We made Kang like this presence that you didn't feel until the end of the movie, he was terrifying. Yeah, and he was terrifying. And when he came down and like squashed the army, and they barely make it out, we were like, "That's a good way to go with it." So I think that one's my favorite. But I think for movies that I was like, "This might be terrible," I would say The Last Witch Hunter might be one that I was like, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
A lot of hate for it.
That or the Frankenstein one.
Oh, yes.
That was another one that we were like, this is going to be horrible. And then it wasn't that bad.
It was a bro movie.
It was.
Same with Bloodsport. Bloodshot.
Bloodshot was a good movie.
I liked it.
I didn't
do a lot of Vin Diesel movies.
Yeah. Not to say Vin Diesel's a bad actor.
He just takes movies.
It's a trope.
It's his trope, and he goes with it, and that's fine. I wish they did a lot better with him. Mm-hmm. And I will say, one of the strangest movies that we have a love-hate relationship, Babylon AD. Do I hate it? I don't know.
The next question is, what's the worst movie you've ever had to sit through for an episode? Mine is Babylon AD.
Because it's the build-up. The last 20 minutes, I'm like, this is a good movie, and it's over.
Yeah, the last 20 minutes, it was
fantastic.
It was good.
I was like, this is getting exciting.
If I remember right, the last 20 minutes we rated separate from the rest, and it was a solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7.
But then the rest of the movie brought it down to a 2.
There's so many questions, and of course, like when you're trying to go with from a book. I think the concept is very interesting, and I do want to maybe read the book and we dive back into it, or we kind of make a play on that somehow. I don't know, but I have a love-hate relationship with it. Honestly, I have been debating on watching it again. I'm like, it came up recently, and I was like, do I dare? I feel like Tim has to be here.
Maybe for our episode 100, we'll do it, and we'll try not to break Willem's TV.
All right, one more question. Let's do one more, or maybe two.
I've got two more questions.
Okay, two more. It's only been 10 minutes.
Yeah. What's an original story that you've pitched that you want to see made into a movie the most?
Bergen's Bears.
Yep. No. Bergen's Bears has to be a book. It's got to be a short story, animated little short. Movie? A movie?
Life Slinger.
Yeah, that's a good one. Painted Purple.
Oh,
that's mine. That's got to be my answer. Painted Purple.
I need it animated like Curious George. I want it hand drawn.
It's got to be
like Curious George. I think that is
or She Who Laughs. She Who Laughs was really good.
We've
got so many that would be great movies. Great TV shows.
I
great
love our
movies,
characters.
Great books.
It's weird because I like they're ours. They're mine. They're yours.
Yes.
We made these.
Now you know how I feel
when you play when you're DM.
When I write my books. I've never published, but I'm at the point where if I sat down and I worked hard, I could publish one within a year. Yeah. Kennedy could be the face of my books.
Okay.
My book series.
Do it. You won't. Just kidding.
All
right.
Yeah. Last question for now, at least.
Okay.
If you could rewrite any blockbuster that was already a hit, but you think you could have done it better, what would it be? Planet
of the Apes. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Because I just remember there in the second one, no. In the third one, and I have not seen the fourth, that's 300 years after Caesar. But I remember being with my father in the theater, and spoilers for that movie, the humans, there's two factions of humans, and they're fighting, and Caesar and his group take out one, and the other group follows and kind of sends the other one on their way, and they look up and they see Caesar, and he's standing there staring at the army, and I lean over to my dad and go, what if they're all monkeys? And I know that's cheesy, but he was like, that would have been awesome. I'm like, I don't know. But really, though, if I really want to do any movie that I think could do better, I'm already kind of doing it with Spider-Man. I'm pretty happy with that. Or, I know it's not a movie, but Legend of Korra.
Oh, Korra.
There's a few things I would have changed. Could I have changed anything with Avatar? No.
Last Airbender is perfect.
I could I would love to do a side story.
All I would do for Korra is I would try to connect them better.
Yeah. I think we should make up some original characters that are like in the background. People have done that.
I kind of want to write a story about this guy.
The
Cabbage Man.
He becomes his legacy turns into Cabbage Corp.
Yeah. I want to see how he got there.
All right. Maybe you should do that.
My answer would have to be, and I am gonna get shot for this. But Harry Potter. All 8 movies. I think.
Are you going to try to be more true to the books?
I would try to be a little more true to the books. I would.
Are you going to change some things? Are you saying you could change things about the actual story, like the books?
Not about the books. About the movies, yes. I would take the movies and I would make them a little bit more akin to the books. And I'm not changing any of the actors. All of the actors in those movies were perfectly cast. I cannot see anybody but Alan Rickman as our favorite not Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
I'm gonna be honest.
No, I can't imagine anybody but Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter. I can't imagine anybody different as Dumbledore. Right?
Have you heard about who they cast the new Dumbledore?
I heard.
I like John Lithgow.
Yeah,
and I know these are American actors, but like everybody, how many times do these British actors play Americans and they kill it?
It's true. I think
Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. I don't think Harry Potter needs to be rewritten
I don't think so either.
as a TV show for the money. That's all they're doing it for. I would change what we've already been given just to flow a little bit better with some of the books. There's not a ton I would change, but there's 2 or 3 things in each movie that I would change just to make it
I'd give you
feel a little more similar to the books.
You know what I would give you? I'd give you The Hobbit to redo.
The movies, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Hobbit. Yeah.
And the first season of Rings of Power.
I still haven't touched Rings of Power. I'm...
Be nice. We are on a podcast.
I've heard that it's so slow, and
I've heard the second season's great.
I heard the second season's great. I've heard things about certain characters' relationships that makes no sense. And I don't want to touch it, so I'm not going to.
And it's again though,
I might watch it later when I've got a little bit more of an open mind to it.
And one lesson we've learned from this podcast and from doing this is that people have their own interpretations. Mm-hmm. Everything's different. There are some books and movies that I think are wonderful, even though they're not related that well. I think that Harry Potter's kind of in that ballpark. The Harry Potter character in the books is much different than the one that we see in the movies. And also Ready Player One. Book and movie.
I never read or saw it.
I think I love both. I can watch the movie anytime, and I can listen to the book anytime, because that book is meant to be listened to. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think those are some pretty good questions.
Last
he's
question.
A liar.
Last question.
He's a liar.
What's a movie you think is already perfect and wouldn't touch? Movie. We already know what TV show, because that's Avatar. Avatar never has to be changed. Also, why are you not looking at me?
Always looking at you.
Hello? It decided it's not gonna...
Intermission.
There we go.
Got it. Going, okay.
But yeah, Avatar is perfect. No, it doesn't need to be changed, but what movies? What movie never needs to be changed?
Warrior.
That's a good answer.
Warrior.
That's a good answer.
Iron Giant. Hercules, the Disney one. Mm-hmm. I do not want to see a live action. I'm sorry. I don't. No. I'm nervous. And then finally, in my opinion, the best movie adaptation ever, which I never want to be seen done ever again, The Green Mile.
John Coffey.
Anyway, those are some of I know that was a few, but they are sitting there on my there's a dedicated Blu-ray shelf in my apartment, and those are all movies that I am like, I do not want these touched at all. So, because I spent my money on it. Yeah. But yeah, those are some.
Mine's a little more cheesy, a little more classic. Lord of the Rings, all 3 movies.
I was gonna ask that earlier.
Never have to be changed. They don't need to be changed. We don't need new variations of them. They are perfect the way they are. If Disney or Warner Brothers or whatever studio decides, hey, we're gonna remake Lord of the Rings, I'm gonna start a petition to say no. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. My microphone was really far away, and now it's too close. I'm sorry if I was really quiet that whole time.
No, I was trying to be discreet. I was even doing it off camera, and Tim's like, "Oh, is this what you want?" It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Another series of movies that I do not want changed ever. Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6. The original trilogy they're perfect. They do not need to change. I don't want them changed. Now, 7, 8, 9.
What about 1, 2, and 3?
1, 2, and 3 could use a couple minor changes. Some of the dialogue.
In my mind, he lets the younglings go.
No. No, but in the prequel trilogy, I feel like some of the dialogue could be a lot more smooth, a lot less scripted. I really like all the actors. I think they all did a great job.
Lucas just isn't good at dialogue. He's great at making up characters.
He is.
Indiana Jones, fabulous character.
He's great at giving us a skeleton for the dialogue too.
Yeah.
Right. But the actual how it flows needs to be adjusted. Other than that,
Rogue One.
Rogue One was perfect.
I don't want it touched. My dad would disagree, love you, Dad, about the ending scene with Darth Vader. That was just fan service, but that's what I wanted.
It was.
I don't care, Dad. It's
I gotta point out, and I pointed it out before.
And he wasn't even like crazy moving. He was moving like Darth Vader should. Yeah. Slow, precise, intimidating. He didn't run down that hall. He walked down and they all died.
I've gotta throw it out there, and I've said it before. Rogue One, the Darth Vader scene, he turned off his life support so he could look cool.
He kept
the lights on his suit show that his suit is on and it's working and it's keeping him alive. The only reason he is alive is because of that suit, and just so he could look cool, he turned it off. Like that is dedication. Anakin Skywalker is the most dramatic character in all of Star Wars, and it shows when it comes to Darth Vader.
I love how that, and I will say that is retconned in there, because even if they were just like, we're going to do it for flair, because they heard his respiration coming up down the hall. They heard him breathing.
Yeah.
But still, though, it doesn't matter.
It's just, yeah. And the one guy craps his pants, and it's just, oh, that scene was so good.
So good. So good.
And if I remember right, my mom really, really liked it too. And said, if I remember right, Mom, correct me whenever I come and visit. But she said that it was, she got home and that was a Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm. My dad wanted to go home and watch. My dad went and saw it first with work, and I asked him, I said, hey, how was it? And he goes, it was one of the best Star Wars movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's like, I felt like I was watching it was a Star Wars story, and it felt connected. It was awesome. And yeah, we can go on about movies we love.
That's another really good question, though. I'm sorry, but I have to ask it.
Okay,
now.
all right.
If you could have any director listen to one of your rewrites, who would it be? I know my answer.
I'm not very good when it comes with directors, sadly. Who would you pick?
Steven Spielberg.
Okay, yeah, why not? I think I would talk to, I can't think of his name. I think I would love to, just because he's a spaz, Quentin Tarantino from Kill Bill and all those.
That's fair.
I think he'd be fun.
No, better than Steven Spielberg, Peter Jackson.
I was about to say, I'm like, I'm really surprised you didn't do Lord of the Rings director.
Yeah, no, Peter Jackson.
Brad Bird, the director of Iron Giant, or one of the main heads from Pixar. I would love for them to listen to a few of our kid stories. But I can't think of anyone else really, because I'm not too.
Those are the ones I know, and I mean, there's M. Night Shyamalan. There's a couple others, but I don't want him.
I want to go through some of his movies still.
Yeah, we've gone through a couple. There's one that does not exist.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's live action in Ba Sing Se. Anyway.
There are a couple other good questions. This one I guess is a little more personal towards me and you.
Okay.
Do you ever disagree on rewrites, and how do you settle creative differences?
We swear at each other off camera.
Yeah.
We turn it off, and
we both turn into sailors.
Stuff is getting thrown. Like, I mean, I've lost many of the, like, so many of these bottles have been shattered. I'm just kidding. I think one of the biggest disagreements we had was the time period of She Who Laughs. That's one of the only ones, because you were like, oh, it should be like, and I was like, no, it should be here. Well, and that was, we just talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We found a middle ground. I don't think, I mean, I know I interrupt Tim a lot. It's bad. I do all the editing, so I know that I do.
You interrupt me? What?
Oh, yeah. A lot. So I'm sure there are a few times that he's like, so.
Yeah. In all honesty, like, we don't really disagree on much, and the stuff we do disagree on, we make compromises, we talk, you know.
But we like each other's differences.
Yeah, we do. And like, again, with She Who Laughs, your example, we took She Who Laughs and we went through how it would work with both time periods.
We did. And I think we really
landed on one kind of in the middle of our,
because we had to be more realistic. More like, sense. Well, this is, we kind of we had to pitch our ideas to each other. I think really we tell each other our ideas, and whoever gets the most going, oh, that's usually what wins. Tim has gotten me a few times. I think I've gotten Tim a few times, where it's just like, I like that way more. So it's just, I don't know. It's called you get along, and I think our personalities just mold pretty well. I mean, we've only known each other, like, it's going to be barely 2 years.
2.5
this year.
2.5.
Really?
Volleyball. That was before I got married.
Are you coming up on 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are. All right,
2
and a half.
in May.
2.5.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 right now. So,
because we started playing volleyball like beginning of the year,
ever ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So the beginning.
No, it was the end of the year before.
So 2022.
Yes.
Okay. So it'll be 3 years the end of this year. Like, I met Tim for the first time, and in less than 9 months, I was like, "Hey, man, you want to come do a podcast?" So that was a fun story. Hey, what if I lived in the same complex as you? I don't know. Do you like where I'm at?
Here's another good question. I've got 2 more.
You keep saying
good questions. I know.
You keep saying that.
I actually, out of the 20 questions, I think these are the last 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you guys a freebie third, real quick. Do you ever incorporate fan suggestions into your rewrites?
No,
because you guys don't write us.
We've done friends. We've done friends suggestions.
Yes, we've gotten a couple,
but that's just your friends.
If you guys, the listeners, emailed us or texted us or
commented anything, we'll would do it.
We'll
you will get our monies. Wait.
No.
You're
not getting our money.
No. Right? Is that how this works? Wait. Do we give them money?
So that's the freebie third question.
Do we have to give them? Maybe we have to give them.
No, I'm not.
We'll give you 1 penny.
I'm not paying my friends to give me ideas.
You get 1 penny. I don't know how you're going to get it, but you're going to get 1 penny. You'll get 1 penny in thought. Those add up really quick if you send more ideas.
Last 2 questions.
Okay.
What is the wildest, most out there rewrite we've come up with?
The wildest rewrite.
I'm gonna say other than my Star Wars, because my Star Wars I scrapped 7, 8, and 9, and I rewrote them as my own stories entirely.
There was skeletons. You did leave. He kept many of the same characters.
I kept the same characters, and
but
kept
it
some.
Went different. There was no Snook, whatever his name is, or whatever. Snoke. Mm-hmm. Snooky. Don't know. Wildest, the biggest one, the wildest change that we did.
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
Pompeii.
Oh my gosh, I loved Pompeii. I love that one. That was so much fun. That was not a bad movie.
No, it wasn't a bad movie.
I also love Greek and Roman stuff.
Our own new one that fit It connected with the audience better.
It was and we turned it into a series though. We made it into like a history
a short series.
Yeah, and that followed the trails of a dog. It was cute. I think that was our.
That was probably our
way
most
out there.
wild.
Is there any
out there? I'm looking like there's not.
We don't really change.
We don't change a ton. I obviously, because we have this podcast, we have a few that we changed a decent amount with, like Ant-Man and the Wasp or Doctor Strange, Green Lantern.
After Earth, we changed a few things. That was the one. That was a weird episode.
That was a weird
Tim
episode.
didn't watch it.
I didn't.
And so I had to kind of explain it to him, which I think maybe we should do that again. We do that again. We both sit down and watch it. Maybe we'll revisit that one because that was hard. I think that was a rough time.
I think that was Pompeii had to have been our most
very extreme different. We went from adventure story to just
we went from adventure love story to
just,
we're following a dog.
We're following a dog, and we're gonna hear different stories. So that was a fun one. I thought about that the other day. And
that was a good one.
It was a fun one.
Okay, and here's our last question, and I think this is a good question for a couple reasons. Okay. Have you ever taken inspiration from a bad movie and just turned it into something completely new? Horrible movie, anything that just did not sit well in your stomach, and we just turned it around and scrapped most of it and rewrote it.
Sadly, I don't think we discussed a few things when it comes to bad movies but I don't think we've ever taken something. The only one I can really think of is your Star Wars movie. That's really about it.
Lightyear, somewhat your pitch for Lightyear.
That was
very different.
It was very different. I changed a lot. I do want to write that out again. Because I for anyone that has seen it, and sorry who hasn't, I changed the dynamic of Future Buzz to actually being his father. So because that just did not sit well with me. That was so dumb.
Yeah, it was weird.
Why did you? Ooh, sorry. Yeah, that's one of the movies that really got me to want to start this. So, and it was the first one we ever did. That was almost 2 years ago, Tim. 2-3 months from now. Dang.
Yeah. That's the big one.
Yeah.
For me is that we did talk about a few others. I know again we changed a handful of things for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
We typically do movies though that really let audience members down. We don't typically do movies that are just straight up awful. Like I know Babylon AD, but these actually came out to theaters. We don't go out to just straight to DVD movies. We don't go to that because most of them are adult, and we don't do R-rated movies as Tim's request. So I would not mind, but it's okay because some of them are just dark. I am debating though if Tim would let me do a synopsis with him of a few R-rated movies that I'm like, this needs to change. So they'll be down the line. That's a few things. We do disagree on a few things, or just at least we have different opinions about stuff. I watch R-rated movies. Tim doesn't, but yet we still make it work because I am I am a rambunctious, very extroverted man. Tim's pretty extroverted, but
yeah, I like to talk to people. But if you're getting on my nerves, I'm not gonna punch you in the face.
I can walk into a crowded room that we've never met, and I'll make like 2 friends.
Same.
So
yeah, as long as those people I have something to connect with, I can become friends.
Would you want to be friends? That's how we got connected.
Yeah, pretty much. We played volleyball a bunch. And then you invited me to a game night.
I think
Couple times. It was a couple game nights, and then
the Sauron. It was when you gave
the Sauron.
It's when you contributed the Iron Man.
The Iron
scenario.
Man thing.
That was when I was like, this guy, he's got good ideas. But with the Sauron being fabulous and looking for his ring.
Yep.
That I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I have
flamboyant Sauron looking for his ring.
I see you. That was the first time I ever saw Tim laugh, and I don't think I've seen that reaction again. That was nuts. I think but it's also, we had like 15 other dudes around us, and
you've
were
seen
dying.
me laugh that hard a couple times before,
but not like that atmosphere where it was like a room. We had everyone looking at us. Like, anyway, that was good times. Good times. Man. Well, Tim, that's 35 minutes. So if you want to be done, we can. I wouldn't judge you for it, or we could quickly go.
I'm thinking we end it there, and then we do the other thing next week.
Okay.
On Thursday, because I'm not going to be home until Wednesday night at like midnight.
So this is a goal for Willem to catch up, because now I have 3 episodes to catch up on.
Yep. And this is a short one.
It was short, and it was nice to do questions. And I know that many people are going to be offended that we talk to AI in order to get these questions, but people don't ask us questions. And maybe that reflects...
and my opinion of AI is it's just, if I'm using it as a glorified search engine, right? It's fine. Like, I'm not asking
it's a computer.
AI. I'm not asking AI to come up with my story ideas for me. I'll ask AI, hey, what would be a good name for a side character that does this, this, and this? Or what are good questions to ask in an interview, right? That's what we did tonight. But I've never been like, hey, AI, write a story about this. Like, that's lame.
I do think there are people that cheat. I am not a fan of AI art. I do think using AI to help you come up with ideas and bounce things up is very nice, especially. But unless you have someone working with you, like me and Tim, we talk about some things, but sometimes we can't always come up with original sentences. And we've done quite a few so far. Almost every single one of our original ideas has been something one of us came up with. Someone
had
suggested,
a dream about,
someone
suggested, or it was just a random idea that popped into our heads one night.
So
at 3 a.m. because we couldn't sleep.
So I think the point of this episode is just give me a break to try to catch up. 2, really have fun reminiscing about our stuff and realizing that we've done a lot. This was a pick me up for me. I needed that.
3, I think this was a good episode for you guys to kind of understand a little more of who we are and what we do, how we do it, and why we do it.
And I think
kind of what we have done already.
And after 75 episodes, I think this is a good one this is 76, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think for this one, after 75, to reintroduce ourselves again, I think it's fine, because some of y'all don't know us. And we hope that will change. But again, this is just a hobby. It's just for fun.
Yep.
We don't know where it will go with. Oh my gosh, I don't know where it will take us, if it will take us anywhere. But the idea that I've come up with a few stories with a good friend is a lot of fun. That I have original characters out there. They're like, those are mine, and I love them. So, and we'll have to get them out there some days. And hopefully you guys can help us do that someday. So, but yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with my care, Tim. So I'm pretty done. So if you want to take it away, we'll send them off.
Well, I don't really have anything else. So, as usual, if you're new, this is your first episode, go listen to our others, and you'll hear this last bit a lot. Every episode. Just about. Yeah, I think every episode. So, anyway, love each other, be kind, and remember, it's not just stories that we tell, it's stories that we live. And until next time, we will see you later, pitches.
Bye.